Happy Monday. It's me, Steph, and today I'm reading from Jedediah Jenkins's To Shake the Sleeping Self, a journey from Oregon to Patagonia and a quest for a life with no regret. I found this guy on Instagram, and he decided to take a bicycle trip from Oregon to Patagonia. I really liked the way he wrote in his posts and the way he looks at the world. He's been to a lot of places, many I hope to go to myself. In the meantime, really cool to see it through his eyes. And this is from the very first chapter called The Itch, and it is preceded by a quote from Henry David Thoreau, and it goes like this. The youth gets together his materials to build a bridge to the moon, or perchance a palace or temple on the earth, and at length the middle-aged man concludes to build a woodshed with them. And here's Jedediah. I have learned this for certain. If discontent is your disease, travel is medicine. It resensitizes. It opens you up to see outside the patterns you follow. Because new places require new learning. It forces your childlike self back into action. When you are a kid, everything is new. You don't know what's under each rock or up the creek. So you look. You notice because you need to. The world is new. This, I believe, is why time moves so slowly as a child. Why school days creep by and summer breaks stretch on. Your brain is paying attention to every second. It must as it learns the patterns of living. Every second has value. But as you get older and the patterns become more obvious, time speeds up, especially once you find your groove in the working world. The layout of your days becomes predictable, a routine, and once your brain reliably knows what's next, it reclines and closes its eyes. Time pours through your hands like sand. This equation has a crummy side effect. While our child brains are absorbing the ways of the world, mislabeled patterns of survival get swept in as we grow. Bad examples, wrong thinking, mistaken assumptions. They get caught in the flow of time through adolescence and carried into adulthood, buried beneath everything else. You watch your dad fly into a rage while driving, and your little brain logs it away. You overhear your mom talking about hell, and something rearranges in your head. A building block placed so deep and quickly covered. We show up as adults confused by our own thinking and with time running out. But travel has a way of shaking the brain awake. When I'm in a new place, I don't know what's next, even if I've read all the guidebooks and followed the instructions of my friends. I can't know a smell until I've smelled it. I can't know the feeling of a New York street until I've walked it. I can't feel the hot exhaust of the bus by reading about it. I can't understand the humility of walking beneath those giant buildings. I can't smell the food stands and the cologne and the spilled coffee. Not until I go and know it in its wholeness. But once I do, that awakened brain I had as a kid, with wide eyes and hands touching everything, comes right back. This brain absorbs the new world with gusto, and on top of that, it observes itself. It watches the self and parses out old reasons and motives. The observation is wide. Healing is mixed in. This kind of attention is natural to a child. To an adult, it must be chosen. The trick is knowing when we are in fact adults and when attention is asleep. Just a taste. I recommend you get it yourself and read it. To Shake the Sleeping Self by Jedediah Jenkins.